Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums. Yes, you got two of them today. This one, though, is kind of a short one. I normally get, whenever I decide to do a very short catalog, like a band that only has like two albums or maybe even three, a lot of people are always like, well, why even bother when there's only just two or three albums? Well, any excuse to talk about some of these bands, I think, is a good excuse. So whether it's, two albums or 15, you still have an opportunity to discuss a catalog, discuss and dive into some albums, right? So, and that is indeed the case with this band. This is a band, I guess you can call kind of a supergroup. They formed in 1971. They released their first album in 72, second album in 73, and then they were kaputs. How to describe this band, I guess they blended rock and folk and country rock and blues and bluegrass and pop and psychedelia all into kind of one cool sound, a little bit of Latin rock as well. The band, I guess, formed by Stephen Stills and featuring all sorts of other guys, which I'll get into in a minute. The band is called Manassas. These are their two albums, self-titled Manassas and Down the Road, first and second. And comprised of Stephen Stills on vocals, keyboards, and guitars. Of course, Stephen Stills from the Buffalo Springfield, and Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. And at the time when this band was formed, he had already left Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. They had dissolved, and he went back to a solo career. Also in this band, we got Chris Hillman, vocalist, guitarist, mandolin, banjo player from the Flying Burrito Brothers. You've got Al Perkins on steel guitar and guitar, also from the Flying Burrito Brothers. You got Calvin Fuzzy Samuels on bass and backing vocals from Stephen Stills' band. Paul Harris on keyboards and Dallas Taylor on drums. So basically this is the meeting of the Stephen Stills solo band with members of the Flying Burrito Brothers. That's basically what this all is. So they basically just kind of got together, did some jamming, found that it kind of worked. Like I said, both of the other bands were kind of in limbo at the time, so they figured let's just kind of do something together, and they did. And the debut album actually did pretty well. They did a tour for it and everything, but by the time the second album came out, things already started to break apart. But we'll get to all that in a minute. So let's start with my least favorite of the two, and I will say both of these albums are really, really good. So there's no stinkers here whatsoever. But I'm going to go with the second album from 1973 called Down the Road. And again, let me just hold up a little bit of that here so you can see this without the glare. So there's all the guys in the band. Not much to speak of here, but another shot of them there. So this one was released in 1973, the second and final album. The band by this point in time, they had their success with the debut album, but things were already starting to fall apart by the time they got into the studio to do this album. Drugs are rampant all over the band. You had a couple of guys that had some serious drug problems, cocaine and heroin and all that sort of thing. So this album is a little bit less focused than the debut, but still really strong. It kicks off with Isn't It About Time, which is a great hard rock and protest song with a really awesome Stephen Stills lead vocal. Such a great singer, really great singer, great guitar player. A lot of his guitar playing all over these albums. You got Lies, crisp rocker with Chris Hillman on lead vocals, another really, really strong song. Then you got a song called Pensamiento, which is like a fun Latin-tinged rock song, kind of like Santana from the same time period. Really cool song. I like that quite a bit. I like when they do the little Latin rock stuff on these albums because they got great percussion and drums going on throughout all these albums here. Let's see, what else we got here? So Many Times is more of an acoustic country folky blues piece. Loads of steel guitar. Business on the Street is a great Stephen Stills hard rocker. Love that one a lot. Stellar guitar licks. Another highlight song from this album. You got the upbeat country rock on Do You Remember the Americans? It's got some cool banjo and steel guitars. The title track is bluesy. It's got some kind of like really cool slide guitars. It's kind of like grinding, it's southern rock, kind of country rock, that sort of thing. You got City Junkies, which has another really good Stephen Stills lead vocal. Kind of reminds me of Buffalo Springfield a bit. Like the song a lot. Guaguanco de Vero, another Latin tinge rocker. And then you got Rollin' My Stone, which is the closer on here, which is another gritty rock song. Lots of wah-wah guitars. It's kind of bluesy. It's got the rich vocal harmonies. The vocal harmonies in this band are off the charts. I think every band that Stephen Stills has been a part of has really, really great vocal harmonies. That's something that he always brings to the table. Lots of guitar firepower on Rollin' My Stone, too. Again, one of the best songs. I think, probably the two best songs on the album are the first song and the last song, but there's a lot of good ones in between. Like I said, if you're going to check this album out, if you haven't already, Isn't About Time, Lies, Pensamiento, Business on the Street, and probably Rollin' My Stone are my favorite songs on there. But there's, Down the Road is good. It's a good album. It's probably a little less of the country rock on this album than there is on the debut. All right, but really, really strong stuff. I like this album a lot. Number one, though, is going to be the debut. Again, came out in 1972, self-titled Manassas. All right, Stephen Stills. They used the Stephen Stills name big time to kind of draw people in because obviously Crosby, Stills, Nash and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young and Buffalo Springfield had a little bit of a higher profile than the Flying Burrito Brothers. But this is a cool reissue. There's a cool pic of the band. So again, Stephen Stills meets up with Flying Burrito Brothers, vocalist, guitarist Chris Hillman. Both bands are kind of stumbling at the time, so Manassas is born, and it's like a meeting of the two bands, Stephen Stills solo and the Flying Burrito Brothers. This was released as a double album that features a myriad of different styles, from hard rock, blues, country rock, folk, bluegrass, certainly pop, certainly a little bit of psychedelia, and each side of the original album is given a different name. And each side has a different feel to it. So the first side of the album is titled Raven, and this features more rock songs. You get Song of Love and Rock and Roll Crazy / Cuban Bluegrass are the two kickoff tracks. Both excellent. Loads of guitar, kick-ass vocals. You got great slide guitars on the southern rock sounding Jet Set with Psy in parentheses. Anyway has a kind of certain southern rock sound to it. Both of Us, Bound to Lose, terrific catchy song that will really appeal to like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young or Buffalo Springfield fans. Killer percussion, great guitar work. Then you got you move on over to The Wilderness. So The Wilderness is side 2, and this goes more into a country rock, and bluegrass style for that particular side of the album. So you got Fallen Eagle, total bluegrass, steel guitars and fiddle. You got Jesus Gave Love Away for Free. Also has a strong like kind of country rock feel. It's got these lush kind of cool acoustic guitars and piano. Really good song. Hooky, Colorado, again, piano, acoustic guitars, nice song. You got the soaring folk on So Begins the Task. Fiddle, piano, and more acoustic guitars on Hide It So Deep. And then you got Al Perkins' steel guitar really shines on Don't Look at My Shadows. So if you like the more country, folky, bluegrass side of music around this time period, that is the side for you. As such, it's probably my least favorite of the four for obvious reasons. I'm not a huge fan of that kind of stuff, but it's good for what it is. It's good for what it is. All right, so on side 3 is called Consider and features a whole bunch of different styles here. It's got It Doesn't Matter, terrific psychedelic rock pop song, killer vocal harmonies. I think, Stills and Hillman sound really, really good together on this album. And loads of guitar solos on that song. Really, really good one. You got Johnny's Garden, lush Crosby, Stills, Nash style folk. You got magical acoustic guitars and layers of vocals on the intricate Bound to Fall. You got How Far, which is kind of like a bluesy pop rocker with a great Stills vocal. And then you got the folky Move Around, which is also really good. And then probably my favorite song on this side is The Love Gangster. Kind of a love gangster, right? Which got loads of snarling wah-wah guitars. It's definitely the rocker, the hardest rocking song on side 3, which is the Consider side. Side 4 is Rock and Roll Is Here to Stay. It starts off with What to Do, which is this kind of breezy country rocker with really rich backing vocals. Good song. Kind of reminds me of the more rockin' stuff of the Flying Burrito Brothers. You got Right Now, which is a good driving rocker with some crisp riffs, lots of guitar solos. Drums and percussion just outstanding on that particular song. You got The Treasure with Take One in parentheses. They do that a lot on this album. Longest song in the album at 8 minutes, and allows for some really cool like extended jamming and soloing. Think like some of the live stuff from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and even Traffic a little bit here. Some really fierce guitar solos, slide solos, piano solos. If you love wah-wah guitars, Stephen Stills does a really great extended wah-wah guitar solo in this. This is the song for you here. And then the closer is Blues Man, which is an acoustic kind of like country blues song. Pretty decent for what it is, right? All in all, this is a really great album. It's got a little something for everybody. Is it a little long at 21 tracks? Yeah, perhaps, because most of the songs are really, really short. For the most part, 2-3 minutes long, and there's a lot of them. But I think it gives you a good kind of picture, a snapshot of this band and all the different styles that they could do and do. So, depending on, what your favorite style of all those is, you have a side just dedicated to what you like. But I think a lot of people will dig the kind of the plethora of different things that are on display here. So really good album, I think. I think both of these are really good albums. I like this as well, almost as much. I think you just get a little bit more here, right? And I think once you kind of read up a little bit on what was going on in the band, you listen to this album, it does sound a little more disjointed than this, which I think sounds like they really kind of planned this out well, where here is just, let's just write a bunch of tracks. Stephen Stills probably doesn't have as much of a impact on this album as he does on here, although he's still on this quite a bit, actually. But it just sounds a little bit more of a hodgepodge, but still really good. Really good. I'm very surprised at how much I really like these albums. I think, the guitar player in me who loves guitar music, even though, a good chunk of these albums are not, big guitar rock albums, there's such exemplary, masterful guitar playing on them. And man, the vocal harmonies are just off the charts. If you at all like Crosby, Stills and Nash, or Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, or the Buffalo Springfield, and you love the way these guys who are just involved in all these bands layer those magical vocal harmonies on top of each other, then you're going to like this stuff. And like I said, there's some interesting other things going on with this band. There's the country rock thing, there's the little bits of psychedelia and folk all mixed in here. Really good stuff. And some of these arrangements are really, really nicely done. So, and again, I had never listened to this band at all before, like a couple months ago. So, new to me, right? It's amazing how something so old, just when you think you listen to so much of classic era bands from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and then, I constantly stumble over stuff that I'd never heard before. And in many cases, they're like little projects and bands and one-offs from, guys and musicians that I know quite well from other things they've done. So, there you have it. I'm going to go with self-titled Manassas, number 1. Down the Road, number 2, not that far behind. These are both great. If you can get them both, I would highly recommend it. Just great early 70s rock music, country rock, psychedelic music, whatever you want to call it. Excellent stuff. And again, the talents of Mr. Stephen Stills fully on display here. Guy is, musical genius, this dude. So there you have it, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Rank them as you like them. There's only 2 of them. If you haven't heard either one of them, go check them out and come report back. Let us know what you think. And we'll see you soon here. We've got Ranking the Albums next Sunday. Jamie Laszlo's coming on board. We're going to be doing Cadaver, the great German psychedelic heavy rock, stoner rock band, whatever you want to call them. They've got a handful of really, really great albums. Can't wait to talk to you about those. And then the following Sunday, we've got Rick Labonte coming back on SOT. We are going to rank the fairly lengthy catalog of blues guitar star Joe Bonamassa. So that's coming up 2 weeks from today. So stay tuned for that. You might get some other smaller ones in between here because I'm working on a few others that I'll be doing by myself. So, we've got, what do we got? We got Morgulble, we've got Anecdotin', We've got All Them Witches. There's a lots in the works. We're eventually going to get to a Tom Petty ranking. We're going to do a ranking of the Derek Sherinian solo catalog. We're probably going to do Planet X as well for all you instrumental prog rock and fusion fans. We got some really good stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Lots happening. And we'll bring it to you in due time. So thanks for watching. I am Pete Pardo. Please hit that like button if you haven't already, and click on the notification bell if you're already subscribed. And we also have the links below to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page. There's some sales going on. We got a few of our shirts available on Amazon now, so there's big sales going on. So check that link out down below as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. See you soon. I am Pete Pardo. Bye-bye.